Hi guys, how are you? Hi everybody, how are you today? Not a lot going on. We've got two short stories, but one kind of important. We're going to talk about the backlash that Robyn is getting. Pardon me, guys. I do this every day. I should know better. Is getting for being a colorist. It's really, really crazy. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about Kim Zolciak saying that it was a bad rumor, a flat out lie that her house fell into foreclosure. So we'll get into that. Why don't we start with the light stuff first? Because the Robyn and brain freeze. Robyn and Candace thing is really, really serious. Somebody can end up losing their job over this. Oh, thank you guys. No, I did it again. Oh my God. It's not a joke. I really forget every damn day. I forget. Here it is. Thank you guys for telling me about the All right, let's start it out with the light stories first. Kim Zolciak coming out saying that it's not true. The rumors were that her house fell into foreclosure. And then a couple days later, they said it was sold in an auction for $257,000. And she's saying that's just not true.
Guys, my house was not sold for $257,000. If you guys think I would let my home that we've put millions and millions of dollars into go for $257,000, you're an idiot, okay? For real. So what are you gonna do, haters, when I'm here for Christmas and I'm here for my birthday in May and I'm here for all these amazing dates? I'm here until I fucking wanna move out, until I decide I don't wanna live here anymore. So enjoy the view, haters, because you're gonna be seeing it for quite some time.
Now,
Guys, my house.
Here's the weird thing about all of it. Also, before I get in that, you guys, please, today is voting day. Joey is so right. Please vote, 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 vote. Got to have our voices heard, whatever your beliefs are there. Why am I having brain freeze today? You guys know that? But let's talk about Kim Zolciak. Okay, she's saying that the whole thing was a hoax. Now, one or two things could have happened. She's clearly in the house. Okay. By the way, she said she would never sell her house for $257,000. They didn't say you sold it. They said it was auctioned off because you couldn't pay the rent. That's what they said. Pay the mortgage. Well, a couple things could have went on. It's really hard to lie about your house falling into foreclosure because it's a matter of public record. But it's not unheard of for someone to just make up a story. So that could happen. The whole thing was just a lie because it was a slow news day or something like that. But here's another thing. If it was a lie and it's not sold, why didn't you just come out and say it earlier instead of posting all of that stuff? Don't believe what you hear and all that. Just come out and say it. Okay. Another thing is maybe it was fell into foreclosure and it was auctioned off and the new owner has now rented it back to you. We don't know. But as of now, she's saying the whole thing's a lie and she's going to be there and she's going to show the house again upcoming December to let the liars know that this was a lie. Okay. No big deal. Like I said, mindless stuff happening. Let's talk about the real stuff with Candace and Robyn. Okay. So I made a video yesterday. We were talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. And at this time, it was a rumor going around that Candace herself feels like there's colorism going on the set. She thinks that the lighter women on the show targeted her and Wendy Osifo. Now, it would look that way. I said in my comment section and on the video that I believe this. It's just a belief. You guys were up in arms when I said how I feel. They were saying there's no way. What's the new girl's name? New but old girl. We called her linebacker yesterday. I'm sorry, I can't think of her name. You got Sharice. Sharice isn't light, and she's a part of the plan, because everybody agrees that definitely Wendy and Candace are being targeted this season. Um, and everybody was going back and forth. And some of you are rude about it in the comment section about my opinion, but that's what we do here. We talk about our opinions, and I'm allowed to have one too. And I just feel that it's true, and a lot of it's going on. Okay, well, now it's hit mainstream. Let me go ahead and post the article that I found this in.
Giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Out of my face. Please put your fingers out of. Please put your fingers out of my face, Robyn.
This is putting my finger in your
Out of
face.
my face, Robyn.
So people are saying that yes, there's a colorism going on. I mean, fans are going in that there's definitely colorism going on, and especially with Robyn, and she needs to be held accountable. See, this is where it gets serious. So I don't know if you guys know about this or watched Basketball Wives. Do you guys remember the whole OG? OG was a darker Nigerian woman, and Evelyn Lozada was a not. She was either dark, like a Puerto Rican or something like this, but of lighter skin, and it was a big thing. Evelyn had to come out. She had to apologize. She almost lost her job. It's getting real. It's getting real. When fans start saying, we feel that Candace and Wendy are being targeted because of the color of their skin, no network could not do anything about that. Okay, so the cries are growing. I don't know what should happen. Oh, Evelyn's Puerto Rican. Okay. She's Afro Latina because her husband was black, or she has black children or something. Anyway, she identifies as Afro Latina. That's just I don't know the correct term, but anyway, it's getting serious. I don't know what should be done. I don't want the show gone. Speaking of the show being gone, people must be getting tired of it. Remember, in the ratings, they like to be a million. Okay, they'll take 900,000, 800,000. Okay, then they're getting a little weird. The ratings were released today, and 774,000. A season low. Oh, man, they got to be careful with Potomac. I like Potomac. I do. I know it's got some serious things going on over there, but I don't want anybody fired. Are you going to tell me I'm being too soft again? I don't want anybody fired. I don't want this to. I don't know what should happen. That's where you guys come in. But people are saying she needs to be held accountable. I hope they're not talking about her job. Now, do I like Robyn? And then I called them yesterday the yellows. I was just making light of a situation. You guys, stop taking everything so serious. Okay. It's a serious situation. I'm not saying that it's not a serious situation. But I was just making light by calling them the yellows, and you guys were highly offended because I called them the yellows. But anyway, I don't know if I don't want anybody fired. I don't. Maybe. Ah, it's a good show. I don't know why everybody's not watching it. I don't know what should happen. But that's what's going on. Everybody's demanding that something happens. Some people are asking for it to be dismissed. And here, somebody just said this in the chat. Oh, I missed it. But it's not just Robyn, the only one that I feel is colorist. It's Giselle. It's Ashley. I know Mia is a lighter complexion, but I don't consider her, I don't think she's colorist, but I don't know. I just hope this doesn't turn into a big thing. But do we need to acknowledge what's going on? Yes. Maybe Andy Cohen can. I don't know. I don't know what should happen, but I don't think people should start getting fired. And is it unfortunate what Wendy and and Candace have to deal with? Yes, they shouldn't have to deal with that situation on top of all the other craziness stuff that goes on. But fired, I don't know. Maybe address it. I don't know. I'm just reporting the story. You guys let me know your thoughts. Come on, guys. What should happen? It is a serious situation. I'm not downplaying it. It's a serious situation. But I don't know. Oh God, everybody's saying she needs to be fired. Well, then if you fire Robyn, what are you gonna fire Giselle and Ashley? I don't know. Candace can be anything, but she is a great observer. I mean, I acknowledge, yes, Candace, what you're going through is serious. I even felt this way yesterday. Well, fired, address it. Yeah, maybe they should have a special or have a scene when they're all talking about it. I don't know. Firing will not solve the issue. Thank you, Whitney. It just won't. It's not. Let's not take it there just yet. Kim is lying. She was online today selling clothes. Oh my gosh. Was she really, Michelle? I mean, Perry was supposed to come on and explain how all of this foreclosure stuff works, but he had to go get our granddaughter at the last minute. Get rid of Robyn and Ashley and keep Giselle. Giselle has the same behavior. This is serious. It's serious. I stopped watching during the dinner Sunday. I just think Giselle and Robyn are low down dirty. It's not funny antics anymore. Well, yeah. Hi, Freddie. Robyn should be fired for not having a storyline. Yeah, just, I don't know. Let me see. Fired. I don't know. I seen Don. Can you bring a few of us up? Okay. Because this is serious. I don't know. I just don't think fired. But, people are saying fired. My goodness. Can't we? I don't know. They did ask for the same thing for Evelyn Lozada. And there's been other shows that have been accused of it too. But, I don't know. Maybe Robyn should come out and make a statement. But then you got to let Candace talk. Maybe a conversation needs to be had. Let's start taking calls. Hey, Freddie.
Hey.
Hey, Mel.
Hi.
This is a serious one. I don't know what to do. I really don't. Let's start with you, Freddie. What should they do?
I mean, the problem is with Andy Cohen is that because he's not black, he's probably in quite a hard situation to be able to have this conversation with them.
And plus his past experiences, remember, with Nene and all that? Go ahead.
Exactly. So he probably wouldn't be seen as credible dealing with that situation. But
Yeah.
It is a situation that does need to be sorted. In all honesty, Robyn needs to go. I mean, we saw her skunk-coloured hair last episode.
But if Robyn goes, she's not the only one. And you think just set an example and send Robyn packing? What about Giselle and Ashley?
I think Robyn needs to go full stop, even if she's not involved. She's boring. But I think I think at the end of the day, they just need to somehow nip this situation in the bud because it can't continue. But it's a hard one of how do you deal with that? It's like you sort of need like a black executive to say like this is not acceptable.
You need a black executive. What do you think, Don? Can you hear me, Don? You're on. Oh, I got you on. Well, what do you think?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing with Andy is not the person to address this issue. First of all, he has his own issues to deal with when it comes to race.
Yeah.
But with the colorism bit of this, they tried to bring this issue up when Monique was on the reunion,
Did they?
and
Did I
yeah,
forget? Go
when
ahead.
they wore the yellow, and Wendy touched on it. Wendy said, "So you don't think there's colorism when it comes to us?" And Ashley said no, and Giselle chimed in. She said no as well. And Wendy tried to say something about that, but they just hurry up and brushed past it, the entire topic. That was the whole. That was the year with the binder. But there is colorism within that circle. Um, Absolutely.
Ugh.
And
Mel,
they're now
go-
Wendy did a interview with on a podcast recently, and she said that they are trying to ice her out the group.
the Carlos
Um,
King podcast. Yep.
yeah, she said that they're not filming with her the entire
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
And
It's
once
true.
they do that, you know, once they don't film with you,
Yep.
they're trying to get rid of you.
I think they're
So
going. People are realizing they're going too far too. On top, I don't know.
They
Mel, what
definitely want Wendy gone.
yeah, they want Wendy
they
gone
want
and
Wendy
they
gone
want
for
Candace
sure.
gone. They want both of them gone. And see,
Mel,
Giselle gets away with everything that she does every year, and people call it light shade. They call it fun. They call it everything. She gets away with what she does
yeah,
every single year,
yeah,
and no one holds her foot to the fire.
yeah, yeah,
I hold her house to the fire.
yeah, yeah. Mel, what were your thoughts? Because this is serious.
You know what? For me, I just have questions. I think for me, my question would be to the cast: if you reported Candace for having a very strong texting, and she's one of the women in question about the treatment that she's receiving, have we in the past shown any kind of concern when it came to Robyn with her aggression? So I have that question. I also have a question about what did you mean that Wendy didn't fit with this brand of the show? That was a conversation that happened between Karen and
I
Giselle.
remember
I
that.
want to know what that means. So these are some of the questions. And also, Ebony K. Williams has a podcast called Holding Court, where she goes into full details about what Bravo does when it comes to racism and the questions
That's
that she dealt
right.
with Ramona. So she goes into detail about what happens, how you can continue to film. So there are things there that can be done. But my question for the cast of Potomac is, we see what you've done when Candace Mouth gets crazy, who I love very dearly. But you call that aggressive, and you said that she needs to be reported because she's dangerous. They use that very inflammatory word. But Robyn has physically, get into physical fights almost. Kate, a lot of times with Ashley, with Monique, and also now she almost had an issue with Wendy. So I want to know if the cast reported her. Those are just questions, but I definitely see some differences how they treat.
This is serious. Let me read this really quickly, DV. Stop abusing mixed and biracial women. You're a small percent of the population and forcing your way in aggressive and then victimizing yourselves. That's true. That's true.
But I have a
DV,
theory as to why I think the whole stuff with Ebony K. Williams was addressed and this Potomac stuff's not. I think the difference is that Ebony K. Williams, she's from New York, which is obviously one of the main American cities. And secondly, Ebony Williams, she's very well connected in America. She knows that, some of these top Black businessmen, rappers and people, in Hollywood and things like that. I mean, the news thing that she works for is owned by Diddy, I believe. So I think they were sort of worried about the connections she had, how that could sort of damage Bravo. So they sort of made the effort to investigate the
that's a
claims
good.
that
You
Ebony was
oh,
making. Whereas these Potomac women, they don't have those type of connections. Let's be honest.
but
And
not. But it seems like the public is demanding it.
the
DV, what were your
public's
thoughts?
demanding it.
I think Wendy is stepping into a dangerous territory. We have so much division already in our culture. Colorism is a really big thing to shout out. She wasn't screaming colorism when she helped Giselle and Robyn push Monique out. Her and Candace both did. And the colorism comment came up at the reunion with Nicki Minaj when she asked that question to Ashley. So I'm not saying that Robyn is not aggressive. I do agree with that. She is very aggressive. And had she been a darker complexion, I think she would have already been gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think Wendy is using the colorism thing for clout to stay on the show because she knows they're trying to get rid of her. But
Wait,
I don't
whoa,
think it's
whoa. You think Wendy?
I think she's playing victim. Wendy can handle her own. Wendy's brilliant. This
See
card
that?
she's playing,
Okay.
she is playing a great card to establish herself on this show. She was very insulting to Karen when she first came on the show by saying Karen couldn't address. I'm paraphrasing, but just to say Karen couldn't question her because she didn't have a degree, that was rude. But we just want to dismiss how she came in like a bull in a china shop with her degrees.
I
Well,
don't
Um,
dismiss it.
Sharrell, can I make another point? I want
Yeah,
to.
everybody join in. Everybody join
Yeah,
in.
so
Go
I
ahead.
think
minute.
that. So for me, I want to throw this into the conversation because I think you made a good point. I think that Wendy is a very beautiful woman. Do I think in her past that she's had microaggressions again from other sisters? I think she has. I think maybe she's very sensitive to that, and she may be. I don't think she's playing victim, but I think maybe she may see things that's not there. We don't know, but I do have questions when it comes to how the girls have treated the one sided. So that for me, it's just
But
questions.
Mel, Wendy has given microaggressions as good as she gets. So
Can,
I'm not saying that she needs to be fired. I like all the girls on Potomac because I'm telling you guys, as soon as y'all get rid of Robyn, y'all ain't gonna have anybody else to talk about, and you're gonna be bored. You guys
Exactly.
drag Robyn weekly.
That's true. We do
Can I
drag
just
it.
say with
We
Wendy
have fun
though,
with it.
I do see the point
Yep.
that you're saying, but
We
at
do.
the end of the day, the problem with Wendy is I do think this is all a bit of a facade, her whole hard behavior. I actually think she's a deeply insecure woman. Sure, she's bright, she's
Absolutely.
got all of these degrees, but in my personal opinion, I think she does feel quite insecure. So she puts on this sort of, yeah, I'm Dr. Wendy Osifo type thing, so don't mess with me type of stuff.
Yeah. Y'all
But I
don't
end
think
that.
So are we? So are you all in? Are you all saying that Wendy is more insecure than Giselle?
I'm not
I think
saying
she's
that.
I'm
insecure,
saying
but I
they're
don't
equally
think
Never
she's
insecure. Listen,
scared
I
about
grew up.
going
Listen,
against Giselle.
Come
I
on,
think
Giselle.
that Wendy, that's Wendy's bag, and she's got to carry it with that light skin, dark skin thing. But she's projecting that onto the show because
Because
you guys got to go back
Giselle,
and watch how they
I,
pushed Monique out. She was all
I
for
think
that.
Monique puts herself out, in my opinion.
yeah, Monique pushed herself out, but Giselle, what is Giselle's storyline since season 1?
I
Ooh.
don't disagree with any of you guys about that. I'm just saying Wendy gives as good as she gets, and the colorism thing is a dangerous card to be playing, causing more and more division in
Well,
a culture that's already divided.
Well, I would just say this thing before. I wouldn't say that. Wendy or Candace give as good as give as good as they get. I feel like they defend themselves. I feel like they are attacked sometimes, and then they react very strong. That's in my opinion. I feel like they're reacting to some of the great eye bandits. I'm not going to say.
Well, when has Karen ever attacked them, Mel? When has Karen ever
Not Karen,
attacked
not Karen. I'm
them?
talking about
Not
Giselle
Karen.
and Robyn.
But they've
Robyn is a
they
liar.
throw hard. They've
Miss
done a
AJ.
lot to Karen. Sitting around talking about her cheating. They talk horrible about Karen. So when you say that, they're to me, Wendy and Candace are on two, and Giselle and Robyn are two sides of the same coin.
But what about Candace?
I said Wendy and Candace.
You can't say, D, that these women haven't been set up or they go after them.
Oh no, that thing that Giselle is doing to Chris is just wrong.
Okay.
Dead wrong. And if anybody should be fired, she should be fired for that. That's just wrong.
Okay.
But they did
No,
that
I'm
to
not
Michael
defending
too.
them.
They
Hold
did
on,
that
hold
to
on.
Michael.
Michael did
Let
that
me
to
read this.
himself.
Let me read this and now I'll let you talk. Ashley's been messy. People forget because she had the baby. No, we ain't forgot. Calling everything colorist is going to backfire. People are getting sick of it. If you're aggressive, fix yourself. Mia tossed lettuce. She did. Candace put her whole heart and soul into it and threw a knife. Well, but look, AJ, answer this question. If you feel that you're being mistreated because of the color of your skin, we have to acknowledge that.
Absolutely.
I just feel D, we gotta
We
acknowledge
do.
it. Do you
We
think
have
I'm
to
not saying
acknowledge it.
don't. You're right. You're right. You
But
do.
we do, but this is not so much from the cast. I think it's more the production side, to be honest with you, because
Makes sense.
people were editing the show, and they the one who are really have the responsibility for the show. So I mean, they cast these casts. It's their show, so they need to do something about it. Should they be fired? I don't know. I think the Candace basically is it's her turn now. We need to know what's happened with Chris, and it's not because
Her turn for what?
Ooh, that's a lot.
Chris ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing
everyone
nothing.
gets their turn on these shows, and it's her turn apparently. I mean, Ashley's been
To
going
be
through
bullied?
it.
That's a terrible.
How they
that's
bullying
terrible.
her, Sharrell?
Oh,
Sharrell,
Lord.
how do you really? Candace is not being bullied. She's not being
She
bullied
is.
at all.
Look, I
She's
got a
being-
full
no, you know, I
backstage.
Just
want
Hold on, let me
exposing
bring
her.
targeted.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna head out. Thank you,
I just
Sharrell.
Thank
think
you, D. Appreciate
But I
you
want to
calling
add
in.
to
Take care.
AJ's point.
Wendy is a nincompoop as well.
Let me ask you a question. How is it Candace? When is it ever Giselle's turn to be
Come on.
questioned about a man?
She was last year.
Ooh,
She's
this
going to
is
Remember-
get
getting
questions
deep.
about Peter
She
Thomas
was.
this season, though.
Ugh.
That's going to be good.
Because here's
We
my thing.
exposed her. We exposed her already. She already been exposed, Giselle. We already know that, what's his name, Jamal. He's got different
But that was
women
never.
he
But
was
that was
dating,
never
and
her
she was
man.
lying. No, but she was exposed on the show because Monique brought the binder.
But that was an
And Karen
that was
called
an
her a
expose.
broken
That
Karen-
was never her
and Karen-
man.
All right,
No, but
hold on.
Karen
Let me
called her
let
out.
some other people talk because a lot of people have something to say. Kim, what are your
Hi,
thoughts?
Diva.
Sharrell, I want to ask you a couple of questions. It's not about the show. It's about I'm getting text from you
No?
that is an animated you,
What?
and it says download this for your show.
Okay, why don't you reach out to Perry?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
You did?
Yeah. And
Oh, wait, do me a favor. Let's stay backstage, and when the show's over, Perry will come talk to you, okay?
okay, how much longer do you have of the show?
Oh, I don't know. This is a steamy conversation.
It is. This is a good conversation.
Why don't you do this? DM me on my Instagram, okay?
Okay, well, I sent him a copy of it. I said, what's this?
Just DM me, and we'll get back to you, okay?
All right, thanks. But
Thank you, Kim. Take
have
care.
a good day, you guys. I need
Bye.
to take a nap. That's why I'm not going to talk.
No, you're good. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Yeah, not a call center, is it?
Colby, what are your thoughts on this? Because this is serious.
Hello.
People could lose their jobs.
Well, I don't think that there's any colorism. I think a lot of times when you bring certain people from certain backgrounds into a medley of different women, there's issues, just like when you brought OG to Basketball Wives. All of a sudden, not only was Evelyn a colorist, the whole cast was a colorist by the end of the series. Jackie was a colorist. The dark-skinned Kristen was a colorist. Everyone got accused of colorism. And I think the same thing is happening with Wendy. I think that what happened with Wendy is that she got really aggressive last year when she threatened to pretty much beat up Giselle. We could see the fear in Giselle's eyes when she was sipping that straw. Like I said previously, she brought the same energy with Lisa Rinna brought with Let's Talk About the Husbands. She got very aggressive once her man got mentioned and everyone else's husband got mentioned. Not only did Wendy was aggressive then, she continued to be aggressive toward the women the whole season. I actually think she thought of that whole couples trip just to bring light on that they didn't have men to bring. Then she sat there and made fun of Robyn and Giselle. And she said, you have luggage? You're just going to bring your luggage to the trip? And then she used her husband, Eddie, which is a very respectable, kind man. She used him as a weapon. Like, look at my nice husband, and you guys don't have this. So then she pulled the "you're not loved by a man" card. So
his family doesn't like her.
Shaky relationship. Yeah, I just think Wendy was very manipulative about it. You know, she had no.
There's something wrong with her.
When somebody feels this way, we have to address the issue. If we say you're just pulling that card,
but what? Yeah, we do, but it's a little bit flimsy on this side because it's not like she's been an outcast. She's been friends with these people. The only reason why that Giselle is just don't want to talk to her is because she feels she's two-faced and it's not really apologized.
But how can
and
Giselle
it all
say
stems from
face?
this is an isolated incident between them two. Sorry, what's that?
Let me let Diva talk. I see
Yeah.
her over there
Miss
turning
Diva.
in her chair. Go ahead, Diva.
Come on. She's gonna set it on fire.
Well, here's the thing. Reality TV is based off of mess, right? And so you have to be messy. You have to insert yourself in different things. And unfortunately, most of them will make up lies on someone on the cast just so they can have a storyline that starts the mess.
Talk
I
about it.
think a mixture of all of the above is happening right now. It seems like every time a certain group of the ladies do something, they're so aggressive.
Right.
They have not once mentioned this season that Robyn is being aggressive. Robyn got up out of her chair, and Wendy was still sitting in her chair, right? She got up out of her chair, talking about, I'm standing on my 2 feet, I'm this, I'm that, and whatever. And Wendy told her to sit down, okay?
No, Rick
And
James told him to sit down.
and Sharice had to put her hands on her to say, calm down, back up. So all I'm saying to you is that when certain people do something, they're so aggressive, they need counseling. You got to go to HR. We got to handle them because they're super aggressive. But there's other people on that show that have shown the same level or a higher level of aggression. So if you, and then listen, they all get into it, but you don't ice them out and not want to film with them.
Right.
They film
But
with.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Diva. I respect you. You know I do. When it's brought up, it needs to be addressed every single time. I
agree with you.
Dismiss somebody and say, "Oh, well, this is just a messy show," and it.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying to you 100%. Well, what I'm saying to you, Sharrell, is it's funny how they want to say it's not colorism, it's not this, it's not the other. But it's funny how when these group of girls do something, they're so aggressive. They got to be dealt with. We need to go to HR. But
You
when
need to
Robyn
apologize.
does it, we need to apologize, right? Yes, the double standards. But when Robyn has been doing it, what, she's okay? She's just upset right now because you said XYZ. Even at the table, the burn session, Wendy was sitting there calm. Robyn got all emotional, all up in her feelings, okay? You're not going to call me a thug. You're not going to say I've been trying to fight you. Who said that, girl? You called Sharice to validate it. Sharice tells the lie, and then the producers, this ain't had nothing to do with Wendy or Candace. The producers showed the footage that Sharice had to hold you back. So my thing is being seen right before our eyes, and everybody wants to try to tell us because nobody wants to deal with the subject that we not seeing what we seeing. We seeing it, we understand it, it needs to be addressed. No one needs to be fired. We need to sit down and say, why are y'all icing this chick out when y'all have issues with everybody? But now all of a sudden, when you got an issue with her, you're going to ice her out and you don't want to film with her.
So you're talking about aggression, though.
People.
You're talking about aggression. You're not talking about colorism, or are you marrying the two?
I'm marrying the two together because people want to say it's not colorism. Well, it's something, and this something seems to always happen at the girls that look a little more browner than the rest. Okay, so
Is Candace not aggressive though?
Things have been said worse to them than what Wendy has said, and they still film with those people.
That's right.
Okay, Karen said that that Giselle had a hot box, accused her of having an STD. So you're
funny.
more mad at
That was
Wendy.
funny.
You're more mad at Wendy than you mad about somebody saying you got a hot box.
Yeah, but they
And
different.
can you tag me in right quick, Diva? And here's the thing: when Robyn, let's not forget Robyn's past history. You showed a clip with Robyn approaching Monique with the umbrella, aggressive. Robyn put her finger to the face of Ashley,
Yes, you did.
aggressive. Robyn has always showed an aggressive, thuggish nature, but she's never been called that. Giselle has
what
never
about, what about people that say that's just, I'm pushing back here, that's just reality TV?
But
okay?
no,
and
but
Wendy and Candace is using this card for a storyline.
But I just heard someone say that not when Portia does it.
Oh,
That's what I
Ooh.
said.
She's
Portia
she's
does it.
doing this.
Do we call Portia a
does
thug?
it.
We
Go
call
ahead,
her a
Kobe. I couldn't hear
thug.
you.
She's beat
Speak
up
up. Say it
several
again,
people.
Kobe.
Yeah.
She's beaten up several people. Beaten
You
up
know
several
what?
people. And do we call Portia a thug? No, we don't.
No.
We love
Oh,
Portia.
they made
So
her get
it's a double
Oh,
counseling. They
standard.
made
I
her get
did
Robin
notice
counseling.
just
that,
pointed
they
a
Billy.
made her
finger
get
at a
counseling.
couple of
They
people.
made they
Portia
made her
has beaten
apologize. They made her
on TV.
apologize. Well,
She's still
they made
beating
her
up multiple
apologize.
people.
They made her
Okay, so
apologize. But
multiple
but
people have been
but
beaten.
Hold on, wait,
they
wait.
And then
made
she
her.
pulled a
And
weapon on a.
Hold on, Don. Let him.
wait,
He said they made him
but
apologize.
Okay.
Hold on one second, Don. Don, hold on.
one second, Sharrell. They
Okay.
made her apologize. They made Portia apologize. But let's stick to Potomac right quick.
Mm-hmm.
And
Don't try to
Wendy,
divert.
Wendy, no,
The same thing.
let's stick to Potomac.
Right.
Wendy never showed that aggressive, thuggish nature to anyone in Potomac, but
Right.
Giselle wants up an apology.
Like when she got Ashley's
You
face
know,
and called her a bitch when she just met her for having in front of her baby.
but she didn't
That wasn't aggressive
she didn't put her
in
finger
front of
in
the.
Ashley's face. She didn't do any of that. She didn't put an umbrella in anyone's
Okay.
in personal space.
Come
But
on.
they
Came
want an
slithering down.
apology from Wendy. You know, the one who everyone said was the educated one who can use her words, which she has done. They want this apology because they feel so threatened from her. But Robyn can physically get in people's space, and Giselle doesn't find anything wrong with that. She still backs her. She still says that everything she does is right. But you know,
Okay,
so
so
what
when
Diva
Wendy
said was
approached
absolutely what Diva said was absolutely true. There is an ism here. We just don't want to call it what it is in Potomac.
Okay.
All right, Don. Hold on. Let Kobe respond. Go ahead, Kobe. Kobe, you there?
Okay, so basically, as I was stating earlier, when other people do it, it appears to not be Robyn's a thug. I'm not saying that Robyn is aggressive to me. She is aggressive. But to call her a thug when we watched Portia beat people and we cheer her on, pull weapons out against her husband, call the police on her baby dad. We've seen all of this on all kinds of shows. Let's not act like Robyn has done something that we've not seen on multiple shows, multiple franchises. She's never even hit anyone. The whole time she's been there, she's done nothing but point her finger at people. I'm not saying she's not aggressive. I'm just saying the fact that Wendy needs to take responsibility that she really went hard against these women last season. She kept it up through the whole season to the reunion.
Right. With her
So can I
she
finish
defended
talking?
herself in marriage.
So my whole point, okay, then if Giselle and Robyn are such horrible people, then why do you want to be their friend?
Yeah.
What
Why do you
changed
come
between
out?
Ashley
They're
and Vicky?
co-workers. They're
Leave them
co-workers. They
alone
have
like
to work
Monique
together.
did. Monique
co-workers.
wasn't in their face for her 3 seasons. She was like, okay, you don't like me, I'm cool. You stay there, I stay here. Monique did not do what she's doing. So she don't have to be all up in their face. Last year she had Karen, but this year Karen is closer to the other girl. So now Wendy's looking for help. So let's just not turn it into a colorism issue where Wendy was accepted from day one on this show. She was accepted from Giselle and Robyn from day one.
But Kobe,
And not only, and considering if it's a colorism issue, why do they want to get rid of Karen and bring Charisse, who is dark skinned?
Yeah.
Charisse is dark skinned. So if it's a colorism issue, why do they want to get rid of Karen, who was light, and bring in Charisse, who is dark?
Charisse, their
but
best friend,
let me ask you
Charisse.
this. Hold on, AJ. Kobe, but the issue has been brought up now. So what do you think they should do? Even if the person is playing it for a card, it has to be dealt with? What do you think should happen?
Well, I do think that they should all get together and talk. But the only thing that I think is anytime you come at a person and make them seem like they're racist because they don't want to be your friend anymore, instead of especially getting to the issue that you actually had and then making it a political issue, because what happens is people have had real serious issues with colorism before, and then they get triggered, and then they get mentally involved and get protective, and then it turns into something that it's not. This is really an issue that these women were friends, and Wendy decided to act like Candace. Now, Candace can handle her own. Candace can do this all day. Wendy can't. She tried to act like Candace and go hard last year and be Miss TikTok, and now at the end of the year, you ain't got no friends. Now, Candace can do that with no problem, but Wendy can't. She did it for one season, and now she wants to.
I totally disagree. But Sharrell, you know what I think too? I think for me, I feel like the girls are not playing by some rules that they set themselves. I feel like they totally go crazy with each other. When it comes to Wendy and Candace, there's a double standard. Now, we've seen that for years with Candace. They have told her many times to apologize to Ashley, but she didn't need to. And I feel like for me with Wendy, she was defending her marriage. She didn't sit there and provoke the person who was a part of her college history.
So
She
was
sat there.
Monique.
No, can I finish? I think she was betrayed by Giselle last year, and she defended herself one time. Now this year, when she came back from the reunion, she decided that she wanted to be a grown woman and say, "Hey, I see you. I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to hold on to any grudges." But now the girls, the green-eyed bandits, are holding on to grudges. Why? Now, for me, I have a question. I don't have any assumptions. I have questions for these people. Was Robyn reported for being aggressive? Why are you holding on to grudges when it comes to Wendy? These are questions I need them to answer. Because we don't have answers. Now, what you're saying may be true, but we don't know to be fact. We see on the TV there's a difference in how some girls are being treated on that show.
100%.
Hold on, let me read this really quick, Diva. Let me read this. One last thing. I think you two girls have their own shows. DSBW have their own shows. Why can't mixed girls have their own? DSBW have ruined the show with this convo. Let mixed girls have their own show too. Okay, I guess they're feeling like we're, like Kobe saying, we're
beating up. Can I just add this to the conversation, Sharrell? The thing is, you know what? We can all blend if we all decide to blend and play the game nicely, right? But it could be as simple as, here's the thing. Robyn and Giselle want to run the show. And if you don't go along with their program, so it's a lot of things that's working into play here. If you don't go along with their program, regardless of what you look like, they want you out.
That's right.
And then in addition to that, they're butt mad. They're butt mad that last season, Wendy obliterated them with her words. Okay.
Exactly.
She never threw a ball. She never threw a knife. She just spoke to them and ripped them down to shreds. So they sat after season, in my opinion, and they said to themselves, we're going to get her back. And the best way you can get her back is if we don't film with her, she can't be on the show. We are at least two people, Robyn and Giselle. All they need to get is two more people to come on with them. And then who will Wendy film with? And so they know this because they know the game. So they're playing that game and they're playing several other games because we cannot deny the fact that no matter what, certain people, when they do something, they're labeled as aggressive. I'm so scared. I'm afraid. Mia and Candace, I'm not going to leave Candace out of this. They was throwing stuff at each other. Okay. But if you go back and you are watching from day one, Robyn has her tendencies. She does not know how to hold herself together. She's a ticking time bomb in a lot of ways. All you got to do is say one thing to her that she doesn't like, and boom, she pops. Okay.
But we're
that doesn't mean she's a colorist.
Colorism.
But I'm adding that into it, Sharrell, by saying this. My point with that is she's been doing this all along. Wendy is newer to this group. Where have you heard aggressive from Robyn? Where have you heard I'm afraid to film with her? Where have you heard she need to apologize to this one, that one, and the other one? She doesn't. But these girls come along and they make one mistake or they do one thing. They're aggressive. They need to apologize. We don't want to film with them. They got a whole laundry list of what they can't do with them and the reasons why. And they're so aggressive. When Robyn been showing these behaviors are worse from day one. But
so you're saying, Robyn's getting away with murder.
Yeah.
And it's because of the color of her skin. Is this what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Welcome to the real world.
I was going to have one last question. I'm going to drop down.
Exactly.
I have one last question. I will drop down to Diva's point. Robyn and Giselle act like they've never been dragged before. They've been dragged for years. And so my question always is, when they were dragged for years, as Diva was saying, they went back and shook the hand of the person who dragged them. They went back and they had a good time. They said, okay, we're going to redo. But with Wendy, there's some disconnect there. The same thing with Candace. It happens that Candace almost has to bow down before they can, do something with her. So we, as a viewer, need to know, why is it different with Candace and Wendy when they drag you, when it's different with other people who have dragged you, colorism or not. There's a difference there. There's a difference I'm seeing. So that's what I have a question.
Okay, well, the difference is Candace is very aggressive. For example, when Mia got there.
Diva and Dawn, listen, fabulous. I thought you had to.
Thank you.
Okay,
go ahead, Dawn.
Okay, I just want to say one more thing when I drop down, Sharrell. Okay, I just want to say that, Candace is aggressive. She's a beautiful girl. She has talent. She can sing, but she's aggressive. For example, when Mia got there, she called G a pimp. She called Mia a hoe. She talked about Mia's mother, called her low budget. She called her a bum. That's in one season. And so when we say that, okay, she is aggressive. It is what it is. And then she got online. She'll call you all kind of names. Like, okay, let's just keep it real. Candace is aggressive, and I think she will own that. That doesn't mean she's not talented. It doesn't mean she's not beautiful. It doesn't mean that she can't do a whole lot of things. But she is aggressive, especially when attacked. And that's not
You're
racial.
saying she's
It's just
aggressive
fact.
and it has nothing to do with colorism. She's just aggressive.
No.
Hey, bro,
Exactly.
can I ask you one question, bro? Can I ask you one question? Can you name all of the
believe it.
aggressive women on that show?
Don't confuse assertiveness with aggressiveness.
I think Robyn is aggressive.
Hold on one second, Barbie. Hold on. Go ahead, answer the question, Colby.
I think Robyn is aggressive. I think Candace is aggressive. And I think that, Robyn, Candace, and I would even say Giselle is aggressive as well. I think she's also aggressive, but she's just a little bit more tactful with her aggression. But I think Robyn is aggressive. I think Candace is aggressive. And I think Wendy was aggressive last season. Even when she said, oh, you guys don't have men, you don't have anything to bring to the trip, and you guys don't have men. And then remember, the girls didn't even want to go on a trip, and then they kind of got forced. Then they didn't have a bedroom, and then Wendy made fun of that. Like, she gave them a hard time.
Hold
Like,
on 1 second, Colby. Hold on. I don't mean to cut you off. Let me read this really quick. From day one, when he came onto the show throwing her degrees around, it's like she's putting others down. I wanted to bring this comment up. Was Portia demoted for her behavior?
She did go down to a friend of the show for
1 year only.
She did for 1 year. But
Can I say one thing, Sharrell?
She came
please?
back.
Go ahead, Don.
So Giselle was lightly aggressive when she plotted and planned to say Monique's baby wasn't hers, that it was the trainer's baby. That was light aggressiveness.
Why?
For a woman that the first time she met her, caught the shade, caught the aggressive nature that she threw at her when she said that, oh, you don't have a home? No, I have 4 homes. She took that and said, and she had an issue with her the entire time that she was on the show with her, to the point where you're going to say that the last baby that you birthed out of her womb was not hers, created a storyline to have try to plot and plan on the downfall of her family. And you took this, and that's light aggression.
I think there's a difference between being messy and being aggressive.
That's
okay.
Direct aggression.
Okay.
That's messy.
Aggression.
It's messy. Exactly.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Let's let Barbie speak. Go ahead, Barbie.
Yeah, I just wanted to come up here because this is not even about colorism. Robyn did a test, remember? She did a test with, she did a DNA test and she came back mostly white. So she's not even black. So this is not even a case of colorism in my eyes, it's racism. And I feel like Robyn is very aggressive. Candace will argue with you, throw shade at you. Robyn gets up in your face like she wants to come and attack. There's a massive difference between arguing with someone, throwing shade online, to coming up in someone's face. And I've noticed whenever Robyn is picking or arguing with someone that is darker, she tends to throw out strong words like aggressive, you're calling me a thug. When she's arguing with Ashley, she doesn't use words like that. When she was arguing with Monique as well, in Monique's house, she was getting all up in Monique's face with the umbrella. So, and what makes it worse is that Giselle has dark-skinned daughters. So I don't even know why she's enabling this behavior. Like, it's not going to come back on her kids.
This
like,
is true.
You don't have to be directly, there is passive-aggressive ways. There are microaggressions of colorism. And throughout the seasons, we have seen Giselle and Robyn plant these seeds. And whenever when they come after Ashley, they come after the obvious stuff. We all know Michael's quirky. He's, he is who he is. But when it came to Monique, she was upset that Monique had more houses than her, that Monique had a stable home, that Monique was in a happy marriage, that she tried to deny. She tried to come and say that the child wasn't Chris's child. And now she's coming for Wendy, trying to say to Wendy, "Oh, you can't come. I don't want you around." but you know what, Candice can bring your kids. First of all, as a black woman, we don't let our kids go to people's houses, especially people that are not within the culture.
You're saying that as a dark-skinned woman, you could pick up on signs, buzzwords, colorism. You don't have to come straight out.
You don't have to
and say you're too dark for me, but you could play little head games with people.
And maybe the men on this panel won't understand, but us women, we know when someone's trying it, or when like Robyn and Giselle, they think, I'm sorry, but they think because they've got the eyes and they've got the complexion that they're better than everybody else on the show. That's the impression I've been getting from day one, and I've been watching The Housewives of Potomac for the longest.
Let me let Colby respond. Go ahead, Colby.
Okay, so one thing I want to say is that, you know, I respect you from your culture and your background, from your country, but please don't tell us who's black in our country. We come with different shades. Our race is mixed.
Well,
we come from slaves. We have different things mixed in our background. Please do not tell us what black is in our country.
Hold on, Barbie.
We decide what black is in our country.
Can I respond to that?
Ma'am, you're from another country.
I'm African.
Okay, thank you. You're not black. But please don't tell us what black is.
I'm African, and for you to actually say don't determine who's black, I come from the headquarters of Africa, the headquarters of blackness, the headquarters of Africanness.
No, from Africanness, not blackness.
I'm not going to argue with a man about who's black and who's not. Robyn did a DNA test herself on the show, and it came back that she was more white than she was black. If you're such a fan, go and rewind the clips. It's on YouTube. She done a test, so don't come at me.
But we all were to be tested. We're going to have less numbers than people from Africa. All of the blacks in America are going to have a lower African number than people from Africa.
Okay,
that doesn't mean that we're not black. Black means we're mixed with Indians, we're mixed with other things. Let's just not say who's black and who's not.
I just think
blackness.
Let me go ahead, Diva.
I come from West Africa, and you can never.
You know what? I want to. If I can bring us a little back to the subject. There was some facts that were dropped about the different behaviors from several of the ladies on the show. And there's some facts on how these behaviors were recognized, right? So, you know, Colby, like you said, it was light shade what Giselle was doing. But see, that light shade was the same amount of shade that Wendy's done. But her shade is labeled as something different, so aggressive. Wendy used her words. We cannot do a time where Wendy picked up some lettuce, threw a chair, kicked the chair, was up in somebody's face. She used her words. And yeah, words hurt. They sting. Words probably sting worse than somebody actually slapping you. You could probably get over the slap faster than you could get over the word. But all I'm saying is that Wendy is being seen as so aggressive. But yet, Robyn has done some things that are really, truly look like the picture of aggressive. And nobody's mentioned that, oh, this chick is aggressive, right?
Okay, so there's a higher expectation for Wendy.
Let me just say this, Kobe, real quick. She left the burn session because she couldn't get to Wendy, and Wendy didn't react to her. So her best way to do it, she got real pissed and she left. Who was aggressive in that situation? Robyn was.
All right, let me do this. Let me do this. Because
she walked away, Diva. She walked away.
Hold on. We got a long. Go ahead, Barbie, really quickly.
Remember that time when Robyn held the umbrella up in Monique's face and got up in Monique's face?
Yeah.
Remember that time when she went straight up into Ashley's face? Every time when Candice or Wendy have said something, it's been with their words. If it's not our fault that black women are the most intelligent in the world and we know how to articulate ourselves, that's not our fault.
Come on now.
Robyn done a DNA test and it proves she was mostly white, and this probably is why she gets aggressive, because she doesn't have the intellect and the articulation to express herself. That's why she gets up and acts like a thug.
All right. Barbie, let me drop you. Colby, sound off really quickly, and then there's a lot of people, they want to speak.
Okay, and I'll go. Okay, the last thing I just want to say is that I'm not being hard on Wendy. I like Wendy. She has a beautiful family. I love seeing her black family, Eddie and the children, everything. The only reason why I hold Wendy to a higher standard is if you came in using your degrees and your education and being a professor at Johns Hopkins. So someone that I would put on a pedestal like Wendy, I don't expect the same sort of behavior that I would expect from a random person. So when I look to Wendy, I do expect more out of her because she is
Kobe, you
more.
were almost
She's
So
gone.
you are caping for, Karen.
You made
Got
it
it.
quickly.
You got it.
Sharrell, you can drop me, but let me just say this to Kobe real
She's a
quick. So
bartender.
because I have a GED and somebody else has a PhD, you expect more from the PhD, and I can act a crazy fool and I'm not going to be labeled aggressive. But if the one with the PhD comes a little bit out of line, she's going to be called aggressive because she has more education. Kobe, we got to
No.
stop that.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
of the above,
Read
both
him.
of them above, all parties involved. Aggression is aggression. Okay,
Amen.
acting crazy is acting crazy. Getting up in somebody's face is getting up in somebody's face. And don't get mad at me because I can cut you down with my words and you can't, you don't have the emotional ability to stay in control when I say something that stabs you in the side without me
Get
even
him,
touching you.
mama.
Get your
But
life
don't you
together.
think
Go ahead,
she was
drop me, Sharrell.
antagonizing
Like
her
a
though?
professor
Right.
at
I
the
love you back
mechanic.
to you next
I'm
time.
gonna bring in new
Fulfill.
people. Thank you, Diva. Thank you, Kobe. I appreciate you
Oh.
All right,
calling
thank
in and speaking your opinion. If you feel that they're using this as a card and it's a dangerous game to play, then that's how you feel. Thank you, Barbie, for
So
calling. I
interesting.
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Okay,
This
we
is
got
a
a lot
very
going
interesting.
on. Hi,
This is a very
Emmanuel.
interesting.
Hey,
Hi,
Sharrell.
Latanya.
Hello, how are you all?
Hey, AJ.
Hi guys, you alright?
Hey.
Let's start with you, Shantae. Sound off.
Well, me personally, I feel like for Portia to be brought up in the situation, I don't really think that counts because, like the other person was saying, Portia had to go through anger management and counseling and everything. They did not let her get away with the way that she acted. When she whooped on Kenya, that was the last straw.
That's true.
That's
so you
true.
feel like
Last
something,
straw. And I believe that's why her show, when she had her own spinoff, I feel like that's why it flopped because she was doing too much. They don't let that stuff slide.
And
I
Portia was
agree.
smart.
We can't let it slide. Latoya, is it
No.
Latanya?
It's
Latoya, sound off.
Latoya. I think people are confusing passion with aggression too much. Excuse me. Because depending on the topic, you may be a little bit more passionate about that than just some random old conversation, right? And so I do feel like when they compared Wendy as being a professional, this, that, and the other, but she's not in a professional atmosphere. So she doesn't have to be politically correct. It's kind of, I mean, this is what the show's about. And I think she understands the assignment now. And I just don't like the, Robyn and Giselle dynamic because you have to hold your friends accountable. But at the same time, it's like Robyn's throwing her under the bus when she's talking to Candace. But then
I'm just going to ask you straight up, Latoya, is there colorism?
I believe that it is. I believe that it is. I believe that holding their feet to the fire when they get out of character and go too far is more so brushed over than it is a Candace or because you look at her dark and complected, it's just like, oh, they're gonna go there. But you so-called wouldn't expect that from Giselle and Robyn because they're fairer skinned, they more politely, just whatever that is. So I think that it is, and I feel like it's a double standard, because that's the first thing that everything that everybody is wanting Garcelle to do. And she's been, her family, her kids have been dragged and threatened and all of that. And she held that composure that young man wanted Wendy to do, and everybody's like, she should have went there. She should have went there. But I also feel like it's just the person that you are as a core, right? Because I can talk politically correct on this screen, but when I get with my friends, depending on the topic or atmosphere, like I'm a totally different person,
Yeah. Emmanuel, what are your thoughts?
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Good. Look, I've been saying it. Robyn and Giselle are becoming the Lisa Rinna's of Potomac. They're just so mean, and it got to the point where last episode when they were in that thing and Robyn just cursed her out and left. That was just I kind of feel like she kind of hates Wendy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's coming across as like hate, like not even like dislike. It's coming across as hate. So,
but do you think they're doing that because of the color of Wendy's skin?
Yeah.
I also feel like she needs a
I don't know,
storyline.
but what about Rick James? I mean, Rick James has got the same
Well,
skin
I feel like
complexion.
they're looking at Charisse because she's like they'll benefit from it because they also don't like Karen. So I don't know, but I mean, Charisse is a liar. We just saw that last episode as well.
Yeah,
so
total liar.
So whatever.
Real quick, what should be done about this?
I don't think that people's jobs should be lost in the matter.
I don't.
But I do feel like they should set that stuff out and get to the bottom of it and figure out what it is. I feel like
when they sit down and they talk, and Candice will say, "I think you're being a colorist." They're gonna deny it.
Yeah, they will.
Exactly.
They're not gonna come out and say, "Yeah, I've been too. I was just looking at you at the color of your skin, so I was treating you worse than I would somebody else." They're not gonna say that.
Nobody.
But they want examples. Basically, it's not like a lot of people trying to compare the OG situation with Candace. That's two different things because
conversation needs to be had, so
it
it's
does.
addressed, and they're well aware of what people think.
Right.
Yeah,
that's my
true.
opinion on it.
Right.
That's true.
But as you can see, she didn't even want to come. But I think they reminded her that, I'm sure her and Giselle are having those side conversations to where you got to keep the, the memo or motivation going, because if you stay away now, Robyn doesn't have a storyline. Her husband don't want to talk about the prenup like he shutting all that down. You're not going to get a rise out of me on camera. So who did she have?
Go ahead really quickly, Amanda.
And it's not just Robyn and Giselle. We saw that coming up. Mia's gonna throw some water at Wendy as well.
You think Mia's a colorist too?
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing with colorism. Colorism is just not skin complexion. Colorism has a whole gambit of things that equal up, in this whole thing of colorism. It's social, economical, it's features, it's the way you talk, it's dialect, it's where you come from, it's your friends, it's a whole lot of different things that equal up within colorism. So it's not just skin complexion, when it comes to that. So I don't want anyone to be fired. Robyn needs to be demoted. Robyn needs to be demoted. Robyn
needs to be demoted.
Absolutely.
And Wendy needs to go too.
Robyn heard the cries of the people last year when they said she needed to be fired. She came back this season trying to be amped up. That's why she's in every scene. That's why she's disagreeing with Giselle, because she heard the people last year. You never disagree with Giselle. You're always on Giselle's back. You agree with everything. You know that she took the fans' advice. She's doing everything the fans said do. She's in scenes without Giselle this season, if you notice.
Well, if you listen to your theory, then she's just doing what her job
does
and
all
she's
the
not
time.
colorist, huh?
She's so-called doing her job this season. She's trying to do her job. She's trying to save her job this season. That's what she's doing. So, is there colorism? Yes. Point blank, period. But is Robyn trying to save her job at the same time? Yes. Has there been colorism in the past? Yes.
I don't know about the colorism. It's just a strong word. I think it's a very strong word because Charisse is in the mix as well, and Charisse is dark skinned as well, and that's their best friend.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I appreciate you coming in.
Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Latoya. Bye, guys. We've got so many people today. Let's see. And I'm going to take calls if they want to talk. Hi, Malik.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. Hold on. Hi, Jay. Can you hear me?
Hey,
Jay.
Sharrell.
Hi. Okay, hold on. Megan, can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Hi. Hold on. One more. Kelly, can you hear me?
Yes.
Let's start with you, Kelly. Is there colorism on the show, and what should we do about it?
For sure. I think
it should definitely be addressed on the show. I think there should be a deep conversation of how it's upholding white supremacy, of course, because it's all about your closeness to whiteness and how whether or not you're a threat, as long as you're light and adjacent to white, then it's not that bad of a threat. And no matter what you do, as long as you're dark, everything you do is going to be questioned no matter what.
Well, what about I'm gonna push back. People who say this is a scheming show, they're all scheming, and Wendy and Candace is using this as a card to get over.
I think two things can be true. I think they're playing the game, and it's an unfortunate game that they have to play when someone's attacking you or just totally mistreating you, giving you they're peeing on you and telling you it's raining for no reason. Like, why can't they just come onto the show, talk their stuff, do their thing, show their beautiful families, and that be that? I think when the housewives start to depend on the housewives' check as their total income, it ruins the show. They get so desperate.
You're saying they're using anything to stay on the show, including colorism.
Basically,
it's already in them, and they're really playing it up even more.
Yeah, they're gonna use whatever. I just feel like the show was supposed to be about wealthy women. That was the point. Like, you're supposed to already be wealthy, and this is supposed to be like a little chump change. They're gonna spend it on their diamonds and their vacation.
Yeah, we've not seen them shopping.
Their survival money, which means that they're willing to do and say whatever to stay on the show, which means attacking kids, attacking marriages. Like, could you imagine if the show was the families really got along and just the women were catty?
They are going too far. Megan, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I kind of agree to an extent with that. I think like we've been saying this whole show, like multiple things can be true at the same time. I feel like just because maybe there is a usage of this quote unquote card doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I think colorism has been on the show way before Wendy and Candace got on the show. Just because there is a mention of it, maybe it is playing up like the fact that maybe Wendy does feel like, okay, maybe I'm leaving. I'll pull this card out, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the card doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that the card isn't a tangible thing, right?
Yeah.
It has always been there. And I did want to say, someone was saying the thing about like Charisse is still in the mix. Here's the thing. I feel like that kind of echoes the sentiment of like, I can't be racist. I have a black friend. I don't think that them having any like wanting to be around Charisse absolves them of colorism at all. You can want to be around someone of a darker complexion. You can want someone to be on the show, and that
still think you're better.
It doesn't necessarily
mean
anything. And low key, I don't even think it's Giselle and Robyn. I think it's just Robyn. I don't even think Giselle really likes Charisse as much as Robyn does. I think it's really just Robyn, to be quite honest. So I don't think that absolves you of colorism just because they might want her back on the show instead of Karen, who's a light skin. I don't think that. I think that's a false equivalency. I don't think those
that's
things
true.
Really go together.
Good points. Jay, sound off real quickly.
Megan, I think you made a really good point there about Robyn specifically, instead of Giselle being the potential colorist, that Robyn might be the potential colorist herself. I was thinking about how, yes, they're trying to bring Charisse into the picture, but they're bringing her in as a sort of soldier. Like, oh, Charisse, I'm going to call you on FaceTime and corroborate my story. They're lying, but Charisse is their soldier, so who cares about her skin color, right? And then, I was thinking about Robyn and how we know that she grew up upper middle class. She's very light. Both her parents are very light, and we can't deny that as Black people in this country that even we have to combat those thoughts of, oh, those Black people over there, and the media hypes up, poor Blackness, and they're always dark skin on the news. We can't deny that could be a thing. But then again, I'm torn because I can't deny that Wendy and Candace are much better with their words than Giselle and Robyn. And if Candace and Wendy were white women, I think that Giselle and Robyn would want them off the show too, just the same. So I'm back and forth between, do I think that the colorism is real, or is it just that they can't stand Wendy and Candace because they can come back quick, and harder? So I'm torn.
Yeah, you're torn. Malik, what do you think?
I want to start by saying that the first scene of the show, when the show first aired, Robyn introduced her and Giselle as two light-skinned, blue-eyed chicks from I don't know where. So that's there. That's
she
just,
did. That's
just
true.
there. Okay, but I feel like it's not only colorism. I also think that it's kind of like Ashley when Ashley came on the show. The girls were already all friends and stuff, so they gave Ashley a hard time, and then Monique came, and she was like a tough cookie, and they kind of accepted Ashley, and I think it's like entitlement of the show. So like Candace, Wendy, all these new girls, they come and they're like, okay, but like this is our house, we started this, so they will give like the newer girls a harder time than the.
So you're torn too.
Yeah, I'm torn.
Territorial.
But like, Mia's kind of like.
Well, why is it the women are saying that there's colorism and the men are either saying no or they're torn?
But at the same time,
it's weird.
Why is this divided between women and men?
It's so interesting.
But like at the same time, you have to look at Mia. Mia's like walking through all these issues, and she's accepted in the clique, in the Robyn, Giselle, and Ashley clique. She's like, she gets the easiest time. And then you look at the skin tones, and Mia
and she
is the lightest. So like it's like in between. It's a lot of things, but
people are saying in the chat the men don't see it. Men don't see it. Diva, what were you gonna say?
I just have to come back really quick and say this. I do not wish anyone to get fired because they call this reality TV, right? So this is what's really going on. So let's deal with what's really going on. Let them all stick to it and face the fire. Only reason why I feel that Robyn should be demoted is because she has underperformed for years now.
She's boring.
So it has nothing to do with just this recent situation. She has underperformed for years, and now somebody put the battery pack in her, and she still didn't get the script right.
Look, y'all, we cried for years that Robyn was boring, and now she steps up.
But she stepped up, and she doesn't know the blueprint, Sharrell.
Yeah. This is a crazy thing that I'm thinking. Is there a possibility that Robyn has been light skin with light eyes her whole life, and she doesn't even know?
Yes.
No.
Doesn't know her privilege.
No, impossible. She should know.
She should know. How should she know, AJ?
She's married to a black man.
She's married to.
She doesn't know what we go through. She doesn't know.
No, but she goes to. I'm sure she has black friends, and she's got we live in 2022, and her husband is black, and her granddad is probably black. I mean,
Sharrell, this what she does know for sure, though, right? She knows that when you treating somebody badly, she knows right from wrong when it comes to that.
She doesn't know.
White people don't really know that about her.
No, but she says she's black.
That Robyn doesn't even know what we go through as dark women.
Because she's privileged, maybe? That could be why.
I believe that.
Then that goes back to colors. AT2, sound off real quick. I had to bring you up. I was trying to sign off. Go ahead, AT2.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to say one thing real quick. I knew there was an issue with colorism. Remember when Monique had beat the brakes off of Candace, right? Well, what ended up happening was that Giselle was like, oh my God, I'm so afraid. And remember, she brought a security guard to that meeting that they had at Karen's house, and then a security guard at the reunion because she was so afraid. And we know that plays into a stereotype like the dark-skinned girl is so dangerous and all this stuff, and she's going to attack me.
God.
Boom.
There you go. Thank you, AT2. She knows when to use the card and play it well. They are definitely colorists right there.
Well, I don't know, but Monique did rip Candace's head off, didn't she? So, and also they were feuding as well, and they were feuding.
She ain't got no scars. She okay.
And she had that binder, and she was just scared. She was I don't know, but that was over the top. Oh,
She's gorgeous.
It's
Oh my
a serious
God.
conversation that needs to be had. But I think everybody is on the same page. Nobody needs to be fired. Let's deal with this
Right.
the best that they can.
What about
They're-
Mia? She's
uh,
sick. Should she be
I can't.
fired? She
I
could be.
can't.
Mia's
Can
a
we not? I
comedic
mean, she's
relief.
always
I love
sick. In this episode, her, thank God, cancer was ruled out, but she's still back to A, B, C, D of diseases because she's on that
That's
journey
not
to
this
find out what's
conversation.
wrong
That's
with her.
not this conversation.
I think she
anymore.
want to be Kim Zolciak. Remember, she said she had cancer, and that's
Yeah.
why she wore wigs. But anyway,
She's a
might not
nincompoop.
ever get resolved
It's a
because,
nincompoop.
like Dee was saying, this is a reality TV show, and other factors come into it. So I guess the public's got to call it out when it's happening. But
I was thinking maybe like you said before, maybe women understand this better than the
women do
black
understand,
men.
but I think it's something that Andy
It's
Cohen
more
should
of
bring
a-
up again at the reunion.
So I think, 'cause-
No, Andy does
yeah.
not need to bring this up because he does not have the range. I'm so
Oh, that's
sorry.
right. That's
Okay.
This man,
yeah, look how he treated Garcelle. Shame
Does
on
not
you,
have the-
Andy.
I don't know who. I also
Nicki
don't think-
Minaj.
Oh, please,
No.
please,
She has
Let's get in
no
there.
space to talk about anything.
No.
Okay,
I don't
girl.
think he should bring it up.
But then if
Let's
Andy
not.
Cohen doesn't
But-
address it, who's going to address it? We're going to say there's all this colorism
They should
going
bring
on, and
someone
Andy's not
in,
doing
and they
nothing
should do
about
like
it.
a special, like a retreat.
Carlos King.
And they have someone come in, like a therapist.
That would be his dream job. He would
You
love
are
that job.
messy.
He's so
Can I
desperate
say-
to come back to the Housewives.
You know what, Sharrell? Can I say this
It's okay.
sometimes? Just maybe if we're gonna have the conversation and keep it 100, why men, can't relate and can't get to it. Because unfortunately, and I'm gonna put this on the table, right? Unfortunately, a lot of men in our community, they may not say it out loud, but who do they look to and who do they prefer? The people that look like I'm just saying the
I
people that
prefer
look
the-
like
I
Giselle
prefer
and
the
that look
men.
like Robyn.
I
But
prefer the
okay,
men,
I'll leave it
so-
alone.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Diva, you're getting
No, I
deep.
prefer
Let me
you.
clear it up so everybody
this
can
is
hear.
getting deep.
We
Yeah, I
will
prefer the
say
men.
We
So that
prefer
means
you,
a stick
Diva.
to me, honey.
Men usually
Mhm.
think that these kind of women are pretty. I can't.
Yeah.
You're the
They
dog
do.
of the
If
dog of the
we're
squid.
gonna have the conversation, we gotta have the conversation, and we gotta
Candace
be
is the
willing
prettiest girl
to
on the
all
show.
be able to put it out there and speak the truth. A lot of the basketball players, when they get married and they get those contracts, who do they marry? The ones that don't
The
marry them,
Giselles.
who DMs are they in, right? We heard about a lot, and I'm not going to throw out names, but we hear about a lot of these basketball players when they marry someone that doesn't look like the Robyn or Giselle, then they'll be in the DMs of the Robyns and the Giselles, right? And they end up destroying their marriage over that. I throw out Kevin Hart. He was first with that one, and now he married. He
Oh,
left her,
wow.
and he married. Okay, I'll let it go because I don't want to start no mess, and I
You
know
are
you
right.
gotta go.
Okay, thank you.
Blasian.
Diva. All right. All
They
right.
prefer Blasian. Oh.
Sharrell, can I
Wow.
say how I see colorism even with Ashley and Candace's relationship at times?
Mhm.
I feel like
Mm.
Ashley, based off her upbringing, not wealthy at all, poor, struggling in poverty, and considering what she had to do to get with a Michael who had all of this money, I think she has a lot of jealousy for Candace about that.
Somebody
I don't
on
know.
Twitter
And-
said, I think
I don't think so.
what pushed Ashley off the edge was seeing Candace's house. And no shade, I feel like, yeah, she looks at Candace, she sees her accomplished
Candace is
black
And the
women.
fact that they both have white husbands, but you have Chris, who's closer to her in age, is actually attractive. She doesn't have
He's
to do
broke.
threesomes with
A
him,
good man.
and so she's
He's
looking
broke.
like, how did this dark-skinned girl get
Wait,
this
He's
white
broke.
guy?
Who's
He's
broke?
broke.
He's
She's
broke.
not. I feel
He's
He's
No,
like
but
broke.
that's the point.
Candace's
Hold on,
man
hold
is
on.
Married
broke.
for money.
I
He was
He's an
born
assistant.
into money. That's the point.
But he's an
Candace
assistant.
was born into the money, and Ashley had to sleep for it. So
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Candace doesn't
That's
have to
true.
marry wealthy. She can marry for just who she wants to marry.
And Chris is not.
Oh.
He's
finances
not
are
wait,
covered.
hold on. Can I
Her
just
mom
say,
supports
Chris,
her.
Chris is not broke. He comes from a very rich family. He just chooses to be independent. That's a whole
But he's not
different situation.
Michael Darby money.
But it
He
doesn't
got-
matter. That's the point.
Okay.
Ashley had to marry somebody she doesn't like for
She's the
money.
smartest
for her
gold
life.
digger.
Had 2 babies, and she
Y'all
does not
are
like that
messy.
man.
Listen, guys,
She's
I gotta
just-
wrap this up. My
She's a smart gold digger.
smart.
She is.
Oh, your granddaughter. Are you
patient
kidding me?
too.
You got a
Hold on, hold on.
grandchild?
Relatable.
Sharrell, are you for real? Is that
What?
your granddaughter?
Oh, yeah, that's my granddaughter. My
No
whole
way.
family's
Yeah.
here, so I got to wrap it up. But I'm going to end it
You
with
don't
Megan
look
because
like.
she's been trying to say something. Megan, what do you have to say?
No, I've just been agreeing. I wanted to say
Gagging.
that basically, listen, I think when it comes to, I don't think anybody should be fired. I really
No.
don't. But I think we are left in a strange loop because I do not feel like there is anybody, unfortunately, I don't think that there is anybody really equipped that they will either bring in to talk about this issue or to settle it. I think it's always going to be just a back and forth on Twitter between them, and there is colorism and there isn't colorism. Andy does not have the knowledge, he does not have the capability, the patience, he does not have the range to talk about this at all, in length.
No, he
at all.
doesn't. He needs to go.
I don't
And I
think anybody
think
should be
Mommy
fired,
needs to
but
go.
I don't know where that leaves us.
I think you ended it
Yeah.
perfect. We are in a loop.
Yeah.
Andy is not qualified to have this conversation.
He's not.
Nobody should be nobody should be fired. I just
No, I
really
don't think
believe
so.
that from the bottom of my heart. And I guess
Maybe
the
Mia.
public is just, we're just going to
Not
keep
Mia.
calling things out and having these
He's sick.
conversations. So it's deep, but what Diva said was really deep. They
Yeah, I
don't know
liked
how
all the
the
points.
men don't know how
Yeah.
we feel, women. They do not.
Yeah. That is so
Anyway,
interesting. I didn't learn that till today, actually, because it was
You are
just
a
dawned
must,
on me. I was
AJ. I
thinking,
love you.
But I
I
don't
feel
know
like
how
you're
y'all
I love
y'all
you,
got that
Sharrell.
from what I said, because I see both. I see like they're both colors and both territorial.
Yeah.
And I'm gay, so like, I
Multiple
don't know
things
what
can
you're
be
talking
true.
about.
It doesn't have to be one or the other. So
Yeah, and that's
Right.
it. And that's how we're going to end it. Thank you for saying that, Megan. It was perfect. All right, everybody. Thank
Perfect.
you so much for calling in. Listen,
Thank
if
you.
they're not going to have the conversation, we had the conversation.
Okay.
And so there was. Hopefully
It was very good.
yeah, hopefully.
Good
All right.
conversation.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Appreciate you calling in. Take care,
Bye.
guys.
Okay,
Bye.
bye, Sharrell.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay, that was a deep conversation today, but it had to be had. And it's no resolve. It's just no resolve for now. And we'll probably have this conversation throughout the season because, it's going to heat up and people are going to feel the way that they feel. But listen, we're having the conversation here. There's nothing they can do about this on that show right now. It's just not. And if I think of something else, I'll come back. But I don't think there's anything to do. But I appreciate everybody calling in and having the hard conversation. And we all did it in a mature way. I really, really appreciate it. All right, you guys, my family's here. My grandchildren's here. So I got to end this early. Please don't forget to click that like button on your way out so a lot of people could see this video and voice their opinions in the comment section. I want to thank everyone for your super chats. You don't have to support the channel, but you do. So I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It was just too many callers, guys. I got as many in as I could. If I didn't get to your call, I do apologize. I'm simply out of time. I will be back at my scheduled time. Until next time, bye for now.